Now, I'm not sure if they've announced this yet, but there will be a new CompTIA A+ exam in 2025. Now, I never saw a tweet or a blog post, or really, they didn't tell me anything. I just happened to be on their website and boom, there it was. New exam coming spring 2025. In this video, we're gonna kind of talk about that. See what's different. It's been 3 years. Should you get this cert? What is the cert? We'll talk about that. And if you're still studying the old one, should you change? Get your coffee ready. We're gonna dive in. But first, let's go CompTIA Red a little bit. Okay. Now we're ready to talk about CompTIA. So here it is, the big announcement coming spring 2025. And it's addressing one of the biggest problems people have with the exam, specifically Linus Tech Tips, and that it was old. It was mentioning old things. It was only talking about Windows 10. Windows 11 wasn't even on there. They're gonna update that. And right here, they tell you what's gonna happen. An increased focus on security, networking, and software troubleshooting. Things that should reflect the current job market, specifically for help desk people. Well, first, what even is this? What is a CompTIA A+? Well, for me, it was my first IT certification. Now, if you're new to the IT world, I love this aspect of it. For many IT people, if you want to demonstrate a skill, you will go out and get an IT certification. You'll study for it, learn all the things about it. So for example, the A+. In fact, let's just go there right now. Scroll down a little bit. What will you learn? They're gonna cover a whole lot of everything. To, hey, what's a computer? To, hey, what's a network? You got the picture. Very basic. And IT certifications start this basic, but they get very extreme, validating and proving that you know something. It's kind of like a college degree, except it's better and cheaper, in my opinion. Comment below if you have a different opinion, or comment below if you agree with me. Like and subscribe. Now, the reason the A+ was my first certification is normally when you first get into IT, that first role you want to have is entry-level help desk, meaning you're gonna start at a company and you're helping people with their IT problems. You're the first line of defense. People are regular workers or at their desk, they're typing along, boom, error, or something's wrong. I don't know. Pick up their phone, they call IT. Guess who picks up that phone? You! And you barely know what you're doing, but you try to figure it out, and if you don't know, you go ask someone who does. Greatest job in the world for learning. The CompTIA A+ certification is one of the best certifications to help you land that job. Now, I got mine a long time ago. I forgot how long ago it was. Video editor, throw up my little card. Yeah, they give you a card, or they used to. You know what? I still recommend it. But hold on, new version 2025. Do I still recommend this? You probably know I'm already going to, but let's at least look at it and talk it out. Now, first things first, just know the A+ is actually 2 certification exams. You have to pass 2 of those bad boys. Am I holding up 3 fingers? 2 to get that certification. The new ones are gonna be the 220-1201 and the 220-1202, which that's gonna be so weird getting used to that naming scheme. The old ones are the 1101 and 1102. Question, when are those going to retire? Meaning, people right now are probably studying for these exams. It's a very popular exam. For many people, this is their first IT certification. So if you're studying for this, do you stop? Like, cause the new one's gonna be available in spring 2025. Are they gonna cut it off right then? Probably not. They'll probably have a pretty, not a terribly long grace period, but maybe 6 to 7 months. I don't know, I'm just guessing. Again, it's kind of weird. They just didn't advertise it at all. They just kind of put it out there. I'm getting hyped up, but I genuinely love this IT stuff, and I've had a lot of coffee. That combo, But they're not saying when they're gonna retire it. So as of now, it's probably safe to keep studying for the old exams if you're gonna be taking them within the next probably 6 months. Don't hold me to that, I don't really know, but in my experience, that's what happens. But all is not lost. If you're currently in the middle of studying for the old exams, the 2023 edition, is that what we're gonna call it? No, 2022. Yeah, they were launched in April of 2022. If you're currently in the middle of studying for that, likely, very likely, there will not be a huge difference between this exam and the new one. Let's break down what's different. Now, typically when you are studying for an IT certification, they will make available to you what's called the exam objectives. They won't tell you what's on the exam, but they will tell you what they expect you to know. And a very high overview bullet pointed list. Bullet pointed? Is that how you say that? So here's the 1201 exam objectives, the new boy. Notice we still are in draft mode. So keep in mind, what I'm showing you here could change, and it's really funny that I could just get the draft mode. No one gave it to me, it was just online. I'm hoping by the time I launch this video, they've talked about it, but I still haven't seen anything about it. Now, it's interesting, I'm not sure if this is on the old one. Let me see if it was. No, it wasn't. So they're adding a little note here about troubleshooting methodology, which I think is actually kind of cool. It's very important. Knowing how to troubleshoot, that's like the game, the name of the game when you're in IT. So they decided not to include Actually, okay, hold on, I'm misreading this. There used to be a troubleshooting methodology included in the exam and the study material they would produce themselves. They did a little workshop analysis and determined that they weren't gonna put it in there. So they're not gonna test on it, but there is gonna be an emphasis on troubleshooting. So it's not gonna be a formal objective. So they still include it, but not officially. You know? So it's not gonna be in the official exam objectives, which we can take a look at those now. So notice we have 5 big domains, covering things like mobile devices, networking, hardware, virtualization, hardware, and network troubleshooting. This is what's gonna be covered in the first exam. I think this is the same as the previous one. It is. And here's kind of a gander of what it looks like. So if you look at networking, you're gonna be covering things like ports, Wi-Fi frequencies. Okay, I just had a meeting. Where was I? I forgot. Oh yeah, we were comparing exam objectives for the CompTIA A+. I didn't forget about you. All right, here's a little comparison between the 1101 and the I can't even get it right, the 1201. I dropped my phone. Type of content you get on my second channel. Okay, so what are we seeing here? Networking? Hey, I love the increase, 3%. Network engineering is back, I keep saying it. Actually, that was the only significant increase, or increase at all. Let's go networking. Now, what specifically did they change on this exam? So on the mobile device side, it looks like they're focusing more on MDM, mobile device management. And they're having a focus on BYOD, or bring your own device. Which back in the day, you join a company, they normally give you a phone. Now everyone has their own very expensive phone, and they have bring your own device policies. How can we secure your device to make sure that you don't break our company? And it looks like, let's see, they're doing a bit of a security flare to NFC and biometrics. For networking, our biggest change, they're focusing a lot more on IPv6. Bringing in some info on a PIPA, and I think that's it, because all this is relatable to IPv4. On the hardware side, USB-C all day, every day. They're focusing a lot more on that. And legacy stuff like VGA, which is still around, but not so much focus, and older USB standards, less focus. I wanted to say gone, but no, they're still there, just less focus. Oh, one new thing with cloud is the multi-tenancy. Boom, right here. So that's existing in more than one cloud, having your environment up there, everywhere. I guess back in 2022, we didn't care about that. We were like, I'm AWS only, but now we're like, we're everywhere. I think you got the picture. I don't know why I keep harping on that point. Let's move on to the exam 2. So exam 1, sum it up. I said, let's move on. I want to talk about it again. Oh wait, I think I missed something in networking. Putting the coffee to my face because it's nice and warm. No, I didn't. So to sum it up, they updated it to reflect new technologies, kicked out some old. It's what you might expect with a higher emphasis on networking because hey, networking is the most important part of IT. Did I just say that? Yeah, it's true. Let's move on to 220.12.02. That's what you call it, right? Yes. Again, we're still in draft mode. Now the second exam is more about operating systems, security, software troubleshooting, and IT operations. Now, both exams have their boring parts, but the IT operations part just kills me. Let's see how they change things around. First, let's see if they have any weird stuff they put at the beginning like they did on the other exam. I do get annoyed by this. They say, hey, all this stuff in bulleted format, it's not exhaustive. They may update it, put some stuff in there that's not in this roadmap. They do have a little note here on Windows 11. It's like, hey, sometimes we might be talking about Windows 10, but Windows 11 is the focus. About time. What's funny is, I didn't look at this before, recommended experience is 12 months of hands-on experience in IT support specialist role. No, you don't need that. I think it's the other way around. You would need the certification to get that first job, to get that hands-on experience. All right, here's our ChatGPT breakdown of the comparison between the stuff. Operating systems are going down a few points, 3 to be exact, but we're focusing on Windows 11. Security, up 3 points. Software troubleshooting, up 1. Operational procedures, thank goodness, we're going down a peg. Key takeaway here is that security definitely has a bigger focus. Security and networking, my 2 favorite things. Networking was in the other exam. Let's do a quick high overview of what's different. My camera has 10% battery, I have to hurry up. So big things first, operating systems, Windows 11. They've added some new file systems, the REFS, or Resilient File System, and XFS, the Extended File System. Was that not on the old exam? No, it wasn't. That's crazy. It's a good addition. Windows 10 is still very much part of the exam, and it looks like they're having deeper shell command. On the Mac side, they've added more security focuses like the Rapid Security Response, RSR. On the Linux side, it seems like they have more commands, and they covered the best text editor in Linux, non-negotiable, Nano. On the security side, our biggest change, bringing in some buzzwords this time, we got Zero Trust. Where do they put that? Yep, there it is, a Zero Trust model being added, and Privileged Access Management. They threw in some stuff on time-based one-time passwords, or TOTP, some new attack vectors, including QR code phishing, business email compromise. What does that exactly mean? BEC. A form of a phishing attack where a criminal attempts to trick a senior executive or budget holder into transferring funds or revealing sensitive information. That sounds like regular phishing. Oh, they impersonate a CEO or vendor. Okay, I guess it's a little bit different. Potato, potato. Oh, and they've added supply chain attacks. In operational procedures, they've added some AI stuff. Explain basic concepts related to artificial intelligence. Interesting, okay. That's a big update. You gotta explain public versus private AI and the implications, data security, data source, data privacy, bias, hallucinations, accuracy, the appropriate use, plagiarism, that's fun. So you gotta be AI literate in the A+. Okay. So in summary, Windows 11, got it. That's probably the biggest win here. We can shut some people up about it. Security, we added some more attack vectors we gotta look out for, added some Zero Trust, PAM, And the software troubleshooting side, there were better PC and malware security troubleshooting scenarios. And of course, AI concepts added to operational procedures. Now keep in mind, similar to what CompTIA said about itself earlier, that these are just bullet points. They can add to or remove certain things from the exam at will. This probably is a good view of what the exam might be like, but it could also be very different from what we've seen in the past. We'll never know until we take it. Now, as soon as I can take that, I'm gonna take that exam and come back and tell you guys about it, but not like Linus did. I'm gonna only tell you things that I can tell you, my overall experience and how it compares. Now, here's my favorite thing about the differences, right? There's not a lot of differences. Because here's the thing, guys. In IT, the concepts, the foundations, those have been the same for a while. Understanding operating systems, Linux, that hasn't changed much at all, except for the importance of knowing it. You're learning AI, but like learning networking. Knowing what CPU, RAM, hard drives, SSDs, all that stuff, it's core, it's central, and you're gonna take that base knowledge and just grow on top of that as you move through additional IT certifications, as you move in through your career. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest things, and that's price. How much is this gonna cost? I don't know. They haven't said anything yet. Let me see if actually I can find it. Maybe they posted it somewhere and they don't want me to see it. Do some Google dorking. Nope, not finding anything, although I am finding that some books that are gonna be released later on are not gonna be released until August. So here's the thing, I don't anticipate it being totally different from the pricing we have now. Right now, base price, $250 per exam. That is steep, I know. And it wasn't very different for me when I took these exams, and I even failed one. And that really hurt because I was just getting started in my career. That hit me hard. So is $506 worth it? Is that the math? I think that's right? Is $506 worth it, not including the training? Because like you have to learn this stuff somewhere, right? Is that worth it? Yes and no. I mentioned in my career roadmap video, which may or may not already be up, you can check it out right here, that the most important thing is learning the knowledge. The CompTIA A+ is your introduction to IT. If you're brand spanking new to IT and really have no idea what IT means, you didn't know that there were paths you can go down, you thought IT was just like, oh, that IT guy. No, there's not just IT guys. There's different roles doing so many different things. The A+ is your buffet to sample these and see which ones you like. For example, I took my A+, I found that I loved networking. So my next few certifications were very focused on networking technologies, going down the Cisco path. So the knowledge is good. The certification, do you actually need to take the exam and get the certification? Maybe. You don't need this to get a job on the help desk, but if you're having trouble getting a job on the help desk, get this. You can put it on your resume, it will look good. And also, you may already be advanced enough to skip this. Like you may have dabbled in computers. You may have built your own PC. Maybe you have a Raspberry Pi. Only you can really know where you're at, and you may be able to skip the A+ and go to a higher level certification like maybe the Network Plus, CCNA, Security Plus. Another thing, where do you find training for this? So currently the old A+, we're gonna call it the old A+ now, you can find training for that. Professor Messer has a free A+ course on YouTube, it's amazing. I am actually currently creating an A+ course on my own academy, still very much in the building phase. We're doing something different there, that's all I can say, but if you wanna come be part of that building, check it out. It's 12 bucks a month, we're posting content every week, and it's something I wish was there, that I wish was around when I first started. That's all I can say. And it's not just the A+ on there. But I say all that to say, this hasn't really even been announced yet. So training for the new exam, the CompTIA A+ 2025, the 1201 and the 1202, where are we gonna find that? Well, I can tell you this, I will now, as I'm creating the A+, make sure that everything I make reflects the new objectives. So you can look at mine and go, okay, that's gonna be new, good, and awesome. How soon is everyone else gonna have their stuff up? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I imagine CompTIA will have their stuff up pretty soon because they try to coincide their release of their exam with their own learning content. I will say, their learning content's expensive and quite boring. Oh, I haven't seen the new stuff yet, but judging from the old stuff, pretty dry. Hey, maybe the new stuff is amazing, who knows? But, however, big asterisk. Is that my asterisk hand? I don't know. So the core concepts of networking, cloud, computers in general, those don't change. So if you're already learning and studying through a CompTIA A+ book or a video course, keep going. And yeah, try to get the old A+. Like if you are already on a trajectory to get your A+ for the 2022 edition, keep going for that. Try to make that. Like don't let your progress be stopped or hampered. Getting the A+ 2022 edition will look as good on your resume as getting the A+ 2025 edition. They don't have versions on your resume. When they give you that certification, you're A+ certified for 3 years. And if you just happen to miss the deadline, I don't know when they're gonna cut it off, it's fine. I think you'll be fine. The 2025 edition will be there, not very different, and I will be creating content to match that. Books and other training will follow. So long and short, let me try to sum this up. Let me land this plane. On my other YouTube channel, my primary YouTube channel, I try to be more tight with my videos, meaning that I don't don't ramble. I'm kind of rambling in this one, just kind of experimenting with content, just trying to get content out without too much of an overhead. That's why this is a bit different. Anyway, see, I wouldn't say stuff like that before. It's more like a live stream. So I'm a big fan of the A+. I think the 2025 version brings well-needed updates. I don't know what the exam experience is going to be like. It'd be very cool if the exam experience itself was more practical, less theory. Odds are it probably will end up being more of the same, just more modern content. The A+ is still the biggest name in the game for entry-level IT. It's still extremely valuable. People still look for it when they're hiring for help desk or entry-level IT. If you like to start your career and actually figure out how to get that job, check out my academy. That's what we're going to be specializing in. Oh, I've said too much. Oh well. That's all I got. I'll catch you in the next video.